Hi, I'm Dean Roberts. I'm the brewmaster here at Brewing, and I was going to talk about 4 beers that we have today. 3 of them are year-round offerings, and the last beer is our monthly experimental beer that we're going to be releasing in September. All right, so the first beer we're going to talk about is the Breaking Bud. This is a 6.5% IPA. In this beer, we use Mosaic, Simcoe, and a little bit of CTZ. So with the Mosaic, it's a new hop that everybody loves right now. It's a great aroma hop. You get fruit, berries, some people get a little bit of citrus. It's a real refreshing hop. The other hop you have in this one is Simcoe, which some people get some pininess, some people get like a caddy type smell, which isn't a bad thing. And then the CTZ, you'll get just a little bit of that dankness. It's a very classic hop that a lot of IPAs use. This beer is really light in color. We used a lot of wheat, flaked wheat and wheat malt in it, just a little bit of caramel malt, just enough to give it a little bit of color, nothing to overpower the hops, which we're really trying to showcase in this beer. The aromas you'll get are just like that fruity, citrusy, little bit of pine, and just a little bit of that dankness or cannabis kind of smell. The flavor on it's going to be all about the hops, very dry. You're going to get the lightness from the wheat malt and the flaked wheat in it. That flaked wheat will give you a little bit of body to back up all that hoppiness to it. But yeah, just mostly just fruitiness and citrus. And then the finish is nice and dry, very crisp, easy drinking, everyday IPA. Kind of what I call a true West Coast IPA. All right, next up we have our Hoptologist, which is our flagship beer. It's a double IPA, 9%, 102 IBUs. This one's going to be a lot stronger than the Breaking Bud, with a little bit more malt character to it, a little bit more crystal malt to it. It's a 9% beer, so you're definitely going to get slight alcohol taste to it too, but nothing overpowering. This beer's got Cascade, Simtra, and CTZ hops in it. So Cascade is a classic West Coast hop. They use it in Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, which everybody knows about that beer. You'll get some fruitiness and some floral notes from the Cascade. The CTZ again, which is also in the Breaking Bud, will give you that very pungent, dank smell, aroma that is very common in a lot of West Coast IPAs. And then the Simtra hops, which we really like using here. Simtra hops they're called Simtra, very citrusy flavors, some fruitiness to it. That blend of hops together just makes a really good aroma to this beer. Right away, I always just get the CTZ hop, which is that pungent, dank smell, and then you get the notes of the citrus from the Simtra hops and the fruitiness from the Cascade. It has very firm bitterness, but it doesn't linger too long. Very easy to drink for 9%, but you just get all those flavors from all those hops just mixed very well together. All right, the third beer that we're doing is our Simtra Triple IPA. This beer is 11.25% Imperial IPA. We call it Simtra because it's using the hops Simcoe and Citra. It's our clever little celebrity name, celebrity hop combination name. This beer is all about the hops. This uses just a little bit of crystal malt, a little bit of wheat. Most of it is just the base malt that we use in all of our beers. We're really trying to show off the Simcoe hop and the Simtra hop. We use a little bit more Simtra hop just because we like that hop a little bit more. So you'll just get mostly both those piney from the Simcoe and then the fruity citrusy that you get from the Simtra hop. When you smell this one, it's very intense. We over dry hop this one. We use a ton of hops in the boil. We're just trying to get those hops just to really pop out. When you smell it, all you give is really just that citrusy with just a little bit of fruitiness, a little bit of pine from the Simcoe, maybe a little bit of that earthiness too, but it's mostly just that Citra hop coming out. And when I drink this one, it's an intense beer to drink. You can get more flavors, just like when you're wine tasting. Take a sip, maybe kind of inhale just a little bit to kind of bubble the beer up some more and get that fizz going. It releases all kinds of aromas and flavors that you can't really get just from the glass or just from gulping it down. Let it kind of fall all over your palate and pick up all the different flavors that come out from all the different, or the 2 different hops that just make this beer an awesome beer. But yeah, it's a dangerous beer because it's easy going down, but it's a 11.25% beer.
3, 2, 1.
All right, so the last beer that we're gonna taste today is, of course, another IPA. We're at knee deep, so we should be drinking IPAs. Every month we do an experimental beer. The one that's going to be released in September, we just brewed 2 weeks ago. It's our wet hop beer. So there's a local hop farm called United Hop Farms. We call this beer NorCal Fresh Seas, like freshies, but fresh seas because we used 4 C hops. We used the CTZ, the Chinook, Cascade, and Centennial. The hop farmers harvested that morning at about 3 in the morning, got the hops here by about 7 or 8 o'clock, and then they went into the double batch that we did to fill this tank. So this is a once a year type of beer. We made the same beer last year. It's a fun beer to do because we don't normally use the whole cone hops, so we have to change our process slightly to incorporate those into the beer, but it's fun because you only get this once a year and you get all these nuanced flavors that you normally don't get with the pellet hops because it's fresh off the vine. There's a lot more oils. You might get some of that grassiness just from a fresh flower basically that you pick. Those type of flavors are just coming out in the beer. With those hops, I just tasted this beer this morning. I get a ton of fruitiness. It's just berries and citrus, maybe a slight bit of spicy floral to it. But this beer is again all about the hops. We used a little bit of crystal malt in it, some honey malt, but not too much to overpower it. We were wanting to make this about the wet hops, but we needed the backbone because of the amount of hops that we were putting into it. We had to give it just a little bit more body than these other beers that I tasted earlier. But this one is just all about fruit and citrus. I get kind of like strawberry, maybe a little bit of raspberry, and lemon zest. It's kind of like having a bowl of grapefruit and berries in the morning. It's a great breakfast beer. That's the 4 beers that we were tasting today. Thanks for watching. We are a big IPA brewery here, but if IPAs aren't what you normally have, we do have a wide selection of beers. It's not just all about IPAs. We have lagers, we have a Bock, we have reds, we have porters. Once a month we do an experimental batch that we're just trying to see what the next good thing that we can put out there is. So every month you're going to see something new in the tap room, and it should be on draft locally here, because that monthly beer is just going to local accounts from the Bay Area up to Tahoe, just like that 50 and 80 corridor area, which that wet hop is this month's beer. So if you're in Auburn, come check us out. Thanks.